Hi everybody, it's Claire back with another art journal video, and this is another page from a little while ago that I created in the large craft journal. So the first page is going to be one with some cutout text on it. So basically I had a little phrase that I wanted to use on my page, and I drew a border around the edge of the page and then sketched out in pencil my letters. So I'm doing the technique where I'm cutting out the space around the letters, not cutting the letters out. So you'll be able to gradually see this start to take shape. This is sped up a little bit, so this isn't my normal cutting speed by any stretch of the imagination. I do it very slowly. I tend to just put something on Netflix or some music on, and I just it's quite therapeutic really. I find it quite relaxing. Just spending a bit of time cutting out, and you'll notice that I turn my book to get the best angle possible, try really hard to keep my fingers out of the way, although occasionally they're probably not really where they're supposed to be, but I haven't cut myself yet doing this, so yeah, just being careful, I think, and slow is the best advice that I can give when it comes to doing these cutout pages. So yeah, so I've mapped it out in pencil first. You can see a little hint of where I've sketched in the letters in pencil. And I'm using those as my guide. So I've nearly finished cutting them all out. I've just got a few more to do, and I'm also cutting out the centres of the letters as well, just to help them stand out a little bit better. I have joined all of the text together in one place or another. So you'll notice that the second word joins to the top word and the third word. So everything is connected. So when you've cut out the bits in between, there are still pieces of craft cardstock joining the whole page together to give it that stability. So that really is the secret to this, is to make sure whether you're cutting the letters out or cutting the space around the letters, that your text joins and touches the edges of your page and each other, and then that way you will create a nice strong page. So don't give up on yourself is my text. So I've just popped a piece of plain printer paper underneath, and I am going to use a blending tool and some black gesso, and I'm just going to smoosh that black gesso on. I found this is a much easier way to get my paint on when I've done a cutout. It's just so much quicker than using a brush, and you get a really nice smooth application of paint as well. There are many occasions where I'd quite like the brush marks in my work, but I think when it comes to this is more about ease than it is about how it looks. The fact that it applies really nice and smoothly is a bit of a bonus really. You can also create the most amazing underpapers when you do this as well, because obviously when I lift this paper out there will be a print of the text on there, so you've got the start of another journal page if you want to use it. And if not, then you're just creating more collage paper which you can stash away and use for another project. So I've put the black gesso on the front and back of the text page, and then once that's all dry, I'm going to be creating a page behind there as well, with some bright colours on, using some rainbow colours, of course, because that's what I like to do. Yeah, so I have applied a thin layer of clear gesso to the page as well, and then I'm using one of Dina's round brushes, and I'm just going to go in with my favourite rainbow colours and just swoop those from diagonally up the page. So here I've used Ruby. This one is I'm pretty sure it's Tangelo. It looks quite bright, doesn't it? I think it's Tangelo. I think of all the oranges, Tangelo is the least opaque, so sometimes it needs more than one coat if you want to get the same opacity as the other paints. Yeah, this one is lemon, and then lime. And then sky. That is such a pretty blue. And then I'm pretty sure this is orchid. And then I'm just going in with some collage paper and adding it into the craft areas of my page, just to start to break those up a little bit. And I'm overlapping onto the rainbow as well. It just helps to soften those harsh edges, and also you're just starting to add in those layers to the page as well, and starting to bring more interest there as well. So I'm just using matte medium to stick those down and giving them a quick dry. Then I'm using this star stencil from Dina Wakley with some white paint, and I'm just going over that collage paper, so that will just kind of push that into the background a little bit more, but you can still see it. Okay, then I'm getting a little bit of white paint. I'm going to do some splatters on my page. So again, just another layer of interest. I do love doing splatters. I love the effect that it gives. It just adds another layer of interest and almost like a finer detail too, even though they are just random splatters. It's the effect that it gives to a page is really good. So then I am using some of Dina's pattern transparencies. I really think my favourite ones from the transparencies are the pattern ones with the shapes on, the circles, the dashes. They make for really lovely accents on your page. I'm using some of Dina's ultra thick gel medium to stick this in place. This is going to go in the centre, as you can see. And then one of the figures from the people transparency, I think that also goes in the middle as well. So I'm just adding a bit of white paint to the centre part where the figure's going to go, just to help push the background away so that the figure stands out. Because of the black text that I put using the Done Is Better stencil, it was actually a little bit confusing for the eye to look at. It didn't really know where to look. So by putting that white paint there, it just pushes that background away and means that that image will then jump forwards, and you can see it more easily. So then I'm using my fine applicator tip bottle, and it's got some watered down black acrylic paint in it, and I'm just drawing with it really. I'm just extending the sort of stony circle image that I've put in the centre of my page, just bringing it down to the corners, just playing with the images. This is some of Dina's washi tape, some of the heart washi tape. I think it's one of my favourites. I use it the most of all. I wish Dina would do one with just hearts on. It would be so cool. And I'm just adding some pieces of that onto my page too. Washi tape is one of those things that I really don't use enough, but when I do use it, I'm like, oh, I should use this more. And then somehow I always seem to forget to use it. This is my dotty stamp, which, as you know, is one of my favourites. So I'm just adding some dots onto my page. And then, because this front page is nice and dry, I'm going in with my Signo Uniball and I am outlining the text here just to help pop it out from the background behind. So once I'd outlined all those letters, I then grabbed some of my Posca pens and just did some dots in the words as well. So this is something that I saw Niamh Bally do when she did that free lesson at Christmas, where she added some dots to the letters that she'd cut out, and it really helped them to pop. It almost gives them that kind of neon sign vibe, really. So I just thought, why not? Let's try it and see how it works. And I did really like the effect. I think with the rainbow colours behind, it worked really nicely. And then I decided I wanted to just write a little bit on the page behind as well. As always, my art journaling, I say as always, most times it's a response to something that's happened, and these words reflect that. So that is often the case. I use text, quotes, or words in my journaling that reflect what's going on. Yeah, so that is how this page shaped up. So a really fun cutout page with the text at the beginning, done in black with those pops of colour, and then the bright, colourful background behind with Dina's transparencies. So thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video, found some inspiration, and I hope to see you again soon.